Welcome to the session today. I'm Soni, your trainer for this session. By now we've covered tenses, we've covered past and present tense and talked a little about future tense in the introduction session. But today we'll go ahead and talk about future tense in detail. Let us see what are the aims and objectives of the session today. First, we'll talk about the simple future tense. Remember, every tense has 4 forms, so we'll discuss the simple form of the future tense. We'll talk about its verb formation. Then we have examples for you. Examples of positive, negative and interrogative sentences, all in future tense. Later towards the session, we have an interesting exercise for you. I'll not tell you right now what the exercise is about. It's a surprise for you. Then, once we've talked about the simple future tense, we'll move on to the future perfect tense. We'll talk about its verb formation and examples. Towards the end of the session, we again have an exercise based on the future perfect tense. So by now you've got an idea what we are going to do today. We'll do 2 forms of future tense, the simple future tense and the future perfect tense. Let's get started with the simple future tense. What do you see on your screen right now? A picture of a nest. There are 3 eggs lying in the nest and you see an arrow coming out of one of the eggs. What does it say? We are the future. Who do you think is saying this? You tell me, eggs के अंदर क्या होता है? Omelette नहीं होता, वो तो तब होता है जब आप उसे पका लेते हो. So eggs के अंदर होती हैं chicks. The chick is saying that it is the future of the egg. Egg के बाद chick बनेगी. You come to know what is going to happen in future. आगे क्या होने वाला है. This is what we mean by future tense. Another picture is there on your screen of a cute little girl. What is she thinking? She says, I will celebrate my birthday tomorrow. So tomorrow is her birthday. And maybe she's thinking how she'll celebrate it. Again, it's something that she's imagining or planning. If you remember, when I had given the introduction on tenses, I told you in case of future tense, either you tell what you're planning or you describe your imagination. So is this girl doing. Another picture of a kitten. What is the kitten saying? The kitten is hungry and it says, I will go to the kitchen and will find something to eat. Now there are 2 wills there in the sentence. It's a compound sentence formed of 2 simple sentences. You could break the sentence as, I will go to the kitchen, I will find something to eat. The entire sentence tells you about the plans that the kitten has. It is hungry and it will go to the kitchen and satisfy its hunger. Next, let's see the verb formation in case of the simple future tense. In simple future tense, you use the verb will or shall followed by the first form of the verb. We all know by now that will and shall are modals. Modal followed by the first form of the verb. Let us see some examples to understand the verb formation in case of simple future tense. First example, I will be so happy if they fix my car today. Now it is again a plan or something which will happen. It has not already happened. something which is going to happen in future. Now the modal that you've used here is will, and the verb is be and fix. The verb is in its first form. We are not saying been or fixed. It is be or fix. So you've used the modal will with the first form of the verb in order to make the sentence in its simple future tense. Then we have another example for you. You will surely pass this exam if you study hard. Again, this is a condition which will happen in future. The verb is pass in its first form and will is the modal. Next, the college will probably close its doors next summer. Next summer, this word tells you that it is going to happen later on. It has not already happened, or it is not happening right now. It is a future tense. More examples. When you arrive tonight, we will go out for dinner. When you arrive in its first form. Again, it's a future situation. Tonight, right now it's not night. When you arrive tonight, जब तुम रात को आओगे, गे means अभी वो चीज़ हुई नहीं है, होगी. Then we will go out for dinner. तो हम ये करेंगे, हम dinner पे जाएंगे. Next, you will live in England until you finish your degree. Again, the condition is that until you finish your degree, you will live in England. A future situation. Next example, I will send you the information when I get it. So you've not received the information yet. When you get it, you will send it. Everything is assumed or planned. Next, I will translate the email so that Mr. Sharma can read it. Simple sentence depicting simple future tense. Next, will you help me move this heavy table? Now we've also shown you how you can use simple future tense in an interrogative way. It is a question and you've used the first form of the verb help with the modal will. Another one like this. Will you make dinner? Again, make the first form and will the modal. Next, I will not do your homework for you. Again, it's a situation that you're telling, मैं तुम्हारे लिए तुम्हारा homework नहीं करूँगा. Future, अभी नहीं कर रहे, but करूँगा. Similarly, I won't do all the housework myself. Again, the sentence also shows simple future tense. Now, I told you in the beginning of the session that we'll talk about positive statements, negative statements, and interrogative statements. So, let's talk about some positive sentences which are in their simple future form. When I'm 60 years old, I will be totally bald. What do you understand by bald? It has nothing to do with a ball. It means when you lose hair on your head. जब आप गंजे हो जाते हो. So जब मैं 60 years का होऊंगा. Right now the person is not of 60 years. He is young. When he will be 60 years, that time he will lose his hair and he will be totally bald. Or I am going to be totally bald. This is a future situation. The same thing can be expressed in two different ways. Either you can say, when I'm 60 years old, I will be totally bald, which means future. Or you can also say, when I am 60 years old, I'm going to be totally bald. Again, future. So both the statements are correct, convey the same meaning and are acceptable. Another example, this team is definitely going to win the competition. Again, maybe the team is very strong, so you have high hopes about the team and you say it is definitely going to. going to depicting future. Next, I am going to visit my grandmother next week. Very simple example. Next week means future. आने वाले week में you will visit your grandmother. Now this was about certain positive sentences or positive statements. Let's move on to the interrogative sentences or questions. How can you represent a question using a simple future tense? Will he be angry when he sees me? Now you are thinking of the possibility. Will he be angry? You're not sure of his behavior. Again, this question is written in the simple future tense. Next, another similar example. Is he going to apologize to Mamta for his behavior? You're thinking what is going to happen. Is he going to apologize or not? A future plan. Next, is the USA going to close down military bases in Pakistan? A big question. Again, it's an imagination or a plan. Nothing is certain. Now from positive statements to questions, and now let's move on to negative sentences. Negative means which tell you that something is not going to take place or will not happen. An example, I won't take any equipment with me. Won't shows negativeness. W-O-N and apostrophe T. Won't telling you about a negative thing that will happen in future. Next, you know what? I won't be able to help you with your English today. First you think and then you tell your plan that you're not going to help the other person. You're not going to help means in future. Next, the government is not going to lower the taxes. This is what you think before you come to know about the budget every year, that the government is not going to lower the taxes. Another example, breaking the world record is not going to change me, says Manjeet. So he says that if I break the world record, it is not going to change me. The world record has not been broken. It will be broken later on. So we've done the simple future tense. We've done some examples. We've seen how you can use the simple future tense in positive sentences, questions and negative sentences. Now is the favorite exercise time for you. Now in this exercise, you need to identify the verbs in the simple future tense. You don't need to fill in the blanks. I'll read out a passage to you, and in the passage you just underline the verbs that are in the simple future tense. Now apart from underlining the verbs, listen to the passage carefully, because all of you at some point or the other in your life think about this question. The question is, what is your ambition? Ambition का क्या मतलब होता है? आपकी aim, आपकी desire क्या है जिंदगी में? क्या बनना चाहते हो आप बड़े होके? So I hope most of you, or in fact all of you, should think about this question. But right now also think about the verbs that are in the simple future tense. I'll read out the passage for you twice so that if you miss out some verb, you can underline it when I'm reading it out the second time. Let's start with the passage. I will aim to be a doctor. I'm going to realize my dreams. I shall study hard to get admission in a good medical college. I shall also work hard to become a good doctor so that I'm able to be of service to society. So this is the ambition of a person. He aims to be a doctor. Let me read it out to you once more. I will aim to be a doctor. I am going to realize my dreams. I shall study hard to get admission in a good medical college. I shall also work hard to become a good doctor so that I am able to be of service to society. I hope you've underlined the verbs that are in the simple future tense. Now, before I tell you about the correct answers, what I want you to do is, when you go home, go ahead and write what your ambition is in future tense, because ambition is always in future tense. What you will do or what you want to become, it has to be in the future tense, your plans. Don't forget, this is your home assignment for today. घर जाके जिस तरह अभी हमने एक ambition पढ़ी है, आप अपनी खुद की ambition लिखना और अगले दिन आके अपने friend को बताना कि आप क्या बनना चाहते हो. So let's move on to the solution. I'll just read out the verbs in the simple future tense and check whether you've underlined them or not. The first verb, will aim. Will shows a future tense. Will with the first form of the word aim. Then am going to realize. I am going to realize. मैं ये करूँगा. Next, I shall study. The word shall study is in the simple future form. Then shall also work hard. Similarly, just like shall study, the phrase shall also work hard is also in the future form. So this was the simple future tense. You remember the home assignment? You need to write what is your ambition. क्या करना चाहते हो? You can gather certain points which would help you write a passage. For example, what is your ambition? The title of the profession. Then, what are you doing to achieve that? क्या कर रहे हो उसे पाने के लिए? What will you do? For example, in the passage, he said he will take admission in a medical college. What about you? What are your plans? Will you take some coaching or would you go for some tuitions or something? ये सारे points आपको help करेंगे in order to write about your ambition. Next, let's move on to the next form of the future tense, which is future perfect tense. Now, before we start describing the future perfect tense, on the screen you see a picture. Now, there is one person relaxing, enjoying himself, and the other one, the poor guy, is going somewhere. What do you think is happening? Well, the person who is going somewhere is Rahul, and the person who is enjoying himself is his colleague, his co-worker. Now, what is the co-worker thinking? He's thinking, Rahul will have reached office by this time. तो वो सोच रहा है कि यहाँ मैं मज़े ले रहा हूँ और बेचारा राहुल ऑफिस पहुँच चुका होगा. Expressing it in future tense, and you have used will have reached, which depicts that it is the perfect form of future tense. It is the future perfect tense. Now, if you remember, while we had talked about the introduction on tenses, we had discussed about the timeline. What is present, what is past, and what is future. Present is today, abhi, aaj. This is present. Past is yesterday, और जो काम हो चुका है. And future is something which is unseen, that is tomorrow. It will come. For example, words like tomorrow, next month, next week, all these show future tense. Let us take an example. By the end of next week, I'll have finished my exams. Which means अगले हफ्ते के end तक. Now I told you next week means future. So by the end of next week, I will have finished my exams. Will have finished. This form depicts future perfect tense. Next, I will have passed out of school by the weekend. Again, will have passed, showing a future situation. Let us see the verb formation in case of future perfect tense. In future perfect tense, you use the modals will or shall have plus the third form of the verb. The third form is like, for example, the verb is want, the third form is wanted. If the verb is turn, the third form is turned. Drop becomes dropped. Let's discuss some more verbs in their third form, which would help you form simple sentences. Wanted, turned, dropped, then the word hurt. Hurt is again the third form. Come, felt. Felt is the third form of feel. Gone, go ko gone. Hidden, hide becomes hidden. Blown, grown, known. Begun, begun is the form of begin. Rung, rung is the form of good, the verb ring. Swum, for swim. So these were some verbs in their third form. What you can do is, in order to improve your sentence construction and the usage of these verbs, go home and try and make one sentence each with each of the verbs that I just read out. These verbs are also there in your workbook. So go home और एक sentence बनाना हर verb को use करके. Now let us see some examples where we've used the future perfect tense. Ajay will already have taken a shower before he goes to bed. So the words will already have make the sentence in the future perfect form. Next, I will have finished this work by midnight. Now, midnight is again a future situation, and you say, by midnight I will have finished. Will have finished. Will telling you about future. Have finished showing the verb formation in future perfect tense. Let's go ahead and concentrate on some more examples. I can't hand in my project next week. I won't have finished it by then. So you know your capability, and according to your capability you are telling that अगले हफ्ते तक मैं ये project ख़त्म नहीं कर पाया होऊंगा. Won't have finished. Next, by the time you get here, we'll have done all the work. Again, it's a future situation. Right now the person has not come, but you're saying by the time, जब तक तुम यहाँ आओगे, हम ये काम खत्म कर चुके होंगे. The होंगे tells you about future tense. You will have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. Obviously, if you stay in US, you need to speak in English. वहाँ हिंदी नहीं चलेगी. So, automatically, your English will improve. Next, will you have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US? It's the same thing, but this time we've used the future perfect tense to form an interrogative sentence. We are asking someone in this statement, and in the first statement we were making a remark, or we were telling someone. Next, you will not have perfected your English by the time you come back from the US. This is also a statement, but if you notice, it is a negative statement. Negative कैसे हुई है? Good. Now you are an expert because we've used will not have. Not shows the negation, the negativeness. Now, we have an exercise time for you. This exercise is titled Be Positive. Now, I'm not talking about the blood group B positive. Be positive means अपनी सोच positive रखो, ठीक है? Optimism रखो अपने अंदर, okay? I'll read out the exercise to you and you need to fill in the blank with the verb that I read out in the bracket. Use the future perfect form of the verb. On Sunday, I have to work late. When I get home, dash dinner. The verb is eat. Now I told you, you are supposed to use the future perfect form. I'll do the first one for you. On Sunday, I have to work late. When I get home, I will have eaten dinner. Eat was the verb. Use the future perfect form. I will have eaten. Eaten becomes in the third form. Now the rest of the exercise has to be done by you. I won't give you any hint this time. Next, the test is in a week from tomorrow. I hope you dash for it. The test is in a week from tomorrow. I hope you dash for it. The verb is prepare. Next, please deliver the package after 6 p.m. I dash home by then. Please deliver the package after 6 p.m. I dash home by then. The verb is arrive. Use the future perfect form. Next one. I dash all of my exams in a week from today. I dash all of my exams in a week from today. The verb is taken. Now in all these sentences, as the exercise was titled Be Positive, you had to use a positive statement. In the next set of sentences, you need to be negative this time and you need to use a negative form so that the statement or the sentence sounds negative. Let's see the first one. I'll do the first one for you. My sister is coming to visit next week. I dash into my new house by then. Now the verb you can use is move. Use it in a way so that the sentence becomes negative. The answer is, my sister is coming to visit next week. I will not have moved into my new house by then. Will not have moved is in future perfect and it also brings out the meaning of the sentence because I told you you need to make it a negative sentence. Okay? So the same thing applies to the set of sentences that I'll read out to you right now. Next year, I dash my brother for 2 years. Next year, I dash my brother for 2 years. The verb is see. Next, in a few weeks, the plants dash enough to pick the fruit. In a few weeks, the plants dash enough to pick the fruit. The verb you can use is grow. Next month, I dash long enough to get the salary hike. Next month, I dash long enough to get the salary hike. The verb is work. Remember to use a negative future perfect form. Now the third set of sentences, in this set of sentences you're supposed to ask a question, the interrogative form. For example, dash I dash here long enough to get a raise. Dash I dash here long enough to get a raise. The verb is work. I'll do this one for you. It is, will I have worked here long enough to get a raise? Will I have worked forms a question. Okay? Same thing applies to the set of sentences that I'll read out now. Next, dash the train dash by the time I reach the station. The verb is arrive. Use it in a way so that the sentence becomes a question. Next, dash the children dash to sleep when I call tonight. Dash the children dash to sleep when I call tonight. The verb is go. So this was an exercise wherein in the first set of sentences you had to form positive statements, in the second you had to form negative, and last you had to form interrogative questions. Okay? So now let's discuss the answers. First, the answers to the Be Positive exercise, where you were supposed to form positive statements. The first one, the test is in a week from tomorrow. I hope you will have prepared for it, because it is a positive statement. So if you write will not have, it becomes negative. So will have prepared is the answer. Next, please deliver the package after 6 p.m. I will have arrived home by then. Next, I will have taken all my exams in a week from today. So the exercise was simple. All you need to remember is use the third form of the verb, because we are talking about the future perfect tense. Next, in the set of sentences where you were supposed to make them negative, let's go ahead and discuss the answers. Next year, I will not have seen my brother for 2 years. Will not tells you the negativity. Next, in a few weeks, the plants will not have grown enough to pick the fruit. If the same sentence was to be positive in nature, it would have become, in a few weeks, the plants will have grown. But to make it negative, we've added not. Next, next month, I will not have worked long enough to get the salary hike. Again, the not is added to show the negativity. Now in the third set, you were supposed to make the sentences into questions. Let's check the answers. Okay, first one, will the train have arrived by the time I reach the station? It's a question. Next, will the children have gone to sleep when I call tonight? Again, the question starts with a will. So, will the children have gone to sleep? Depicting a future perfect form. So, these were the solutions, and as we had discussed a wonderful passage for simple future tense, remember the ambition. What is your ambition? Similarly, we have another interesting passage for you wherein you're supposed to identify the verbs in the future perfect tense. Now, what is the title of this passage? The passage is titled, Where do you see yourself in 10 years? इसका मतलब है आपको क्या लगता है 10 साल बाद आप कहाँ होंगे, क्या कर रहे होंगे. This is what it means. It does not mean कि आप कहाँ खड़े होंगे. It means what is the situation, किस situation में होंगे आप. It could be regarding your career or your personal life as well. I'll read out the passage twice for you, and you need to underline the verbs that are in the future perfect form. Let's start with the passage. 10 years from now, I'll be an established professional. I will be employed in a good company as a manager. I will have proven my ability in the industry. I will also be living in my own house and driving my flashy car. I will not have told anybody that I'll be paying loan installments for the house and the car. So this is a situation where this person thinks he would be after 10 years. It is different for everyone. He would be employed as a manager in a company. Maybe you will be a doctor or maybe a teacher. Let's read out the passage once more and don't forget to underline the verbs. 10 years from now, I'll be an established professional. I will be employed in a good company as a manager. I will have proven my ability in the industry. I will also be living in my own house and driving my flashy car. I will not have told anybody that I'll be paying loan installments for the house and the car. I hope by now you've underlined all the verbs. Let's go ahead and check the solutions. I'll read out the verbs that are in the future perfect form and make sure to underline them if you had missed them earlier. The verb will have proven. Will have proven my ability. So the verb is will have proven. Will telling you about future. Have proven makes it the future perfect verb. Another one in the same passage is will not have told. Now, will not have told is a negative statement, but it is also in the future perfect form. Now, this was about someone's plans. What will he be after 10 years? What are your plans? आप क्या चाहते हो? क्या करना चाहते हो 10 साल बाद? और उसके लिए what is the effort that you will put in? So you need to write this. Show it to your parents. They'll be happy to read it. जब वो पढ़ेंगे कि आप क्या करना चाहते हो, they will be in a position to help you according to your aim, according to your goal. So this is your home assignment that you are supposed to write a small passage about what are your plans and what will you do to achieve your plans or your goals. Until next time, thank you and happy learning.